welcome. Let's get rolling.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me all right? Okay, wonderful. So who are we? Basically, as our slide suggests, we're a team of supervisors from San Jose State University. We are Bernadette. We are, I'll be the last one, Jennifer, and Erin, and me. Extra bonus points. Who's this person? Anybody know?
Come off mute, put it in the chat. Who do you think that might be?
Yeah.
In the red.
Sorry.
Yeah.
She's not here today, but
Yeah, she's not here today. Yay!
Thanks,
Celeste got it. Celeste got it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's who we hang out with. And we just keep going. We just keep rocking and rolling, as you can see here. Okay. So our next slide, please.
okay.
Erin? Okay. Basically, we, the whole point of who we are and what we do is that we hope that you were able to enjoy a little bit of the music. And we want you, the theme that we chose, or the music that we chose, was the famous Let's Stay Together. And that's exactly what we hope that we're going to be doing today in our presentation. Next slide, please. Okay, you may not remember all of the words our writers say, but we hope you feel optimistic and empowered. And as you develop coaching skills and strategies, remember that how you show up is within your sphere of control. This quote we chose purposely from Elena, because she talks about how we show up, what we do, and that makes so much sense in our work. But before we begin, we are going to take some time to reflect on our land acknowledgement. Next slide, please, Erin. We acknowledge that San Jose State and the communities we serve occupy the unceded territory of the Muwekma Ohlone Nation, the sovereign nation and original people of the skies, the land, and waters where we work and learn. The Muwekma Ohlone people are the stewards of these lands and of the teaching and learning that comes from and responds to the needs of the land, living beings, and people who share it. We pray that our daily lives and work at San Jose State, researching, teaching, and community engagement support the evolving vision of the Muwekma Ohlone for their community and these lands. Next slide, please. So, Bernadette, how are we going to do this?
All right. We are going to review our norms. We did our welcome and introductions. We're going to review our norms. Then we're going to have a quick check-in and then move into a great group discussion and discuss what is a community of practice, what are our next steps, and then send you off to enjoy a lunch.
Great. Hey, Jennifer, what else are we going to be doing?
Definitely. We're going to share our meeting norms with you. First and foremost, joy is a safe place to be free. And so we hope, and in this session, that you feel safe, that this is a safe place. Please experience joy and, of course, be free. Stay reflective and curious. Honor your truth kindly. Experience your emotions. Engage in reframing when necessary. Collaborate and listen to grow and understand. Self-care, take care of yourself. Take a break if needed and step back in.
So my question to all of you is, how's your heart or how's your spirit today? But before we begin that, we want to give you a little bit of time to just pause and then think of one word that describes your heart or spirit today, just one word. And we're going to share that in a popcorn type of activity. So then we're going to ask that you unmute yourselves. Everybody have your word, your thinking, okay? We want you then to unmute yourselves and then state your one-word description, okay?
Optimistic.
Open.
Safe.
Grateful. Grateful.
Nucleus.
Elated.
Present.
Influx.
Reflective.
Curious.
Load.
Nucleus. Edwin.
Oh,
Joyful. Blessed.
oh, that's wonderful. And if I was going to use mine, dancing mood. Oh, I can't do that. It's just one word, dancing.
Love that.
Love it. We'll have to put the music back on later too for that, Helen.
That's true. Oh, thank you so much for doing that. Bernadette, what's this theoretical framework all about?
All right, Helen and everyone in the room, we are going to just give you a foundation of where we were building our community of practice. So it is supported by 4 theoretical frameworks, and I'll be taking you through each one very briefly. The first is humanizing pedagogy, and we use it in the manner as it is described by Paulo Freire and Maria del Carmen Salazar, among a wealth of other humanizing pedagogues. As a team, we engaged in humanizing pedagogy, and because humanization is the process of becoming more human as social, historical thinking, communicating, transformative, creative persons who participate in and with the world. Freire encourages educators to listen to their students and build on their knowledge and experiences in order to engage in a contextualized, dynamic, and personalized education approach. So as a team of field supervisors, we strive to enact a humanizing pedagogy, to engage in this quest for mutual humanization with our colleagues and the candidates we supervise. Our second theoretical framework is situated in the community of practice framework, and we use this because we wanted to further engage in cooperation and collaboration. Here, the work of Vygotsky and Wagner's theoretical frameworks embody a goal of creating space where we can gather as professionals to share our coaching experiences, because at the heart of Wagner's COP theory is a manifestation of people using knowledge they've acquired in their own practice. And a community of practice is a place where people are creating and learning about community and about themselves. Wagner notes that as practitioners, the people who use the knowledge in their activities are the best to manage this particular knowledge. And the third theoretical framework is important, or we see it as important to humanizing pedagogy and communities of practice, is the Chicana Latina feminist methodology of pláticas. Within the literature, pláticas, through conversation, bear witness to the experiences of others in a friendly, dialogic, and mutualistic manner, in which the facilitator is willing to be open and vulnerable. Within pláticas, there is an emphasis on sharing ideas, experiences, and stories, and relationship building. Pláticas are the essence of critical, reflective. And Espino defined pláticas as a collaborative process comprised of sharing stories, building community, and acknowledging multiple realities and vulnerabilities in an effort to enforce strong bonds. And finally, our fourth body of knowledge comes from storytelling and narrative as ways of knowing and being, where story is central to human understanding. It makes life livable, because without a story, there is no identity, no self, no other. And so this definition also focuses on testimonios as evolving from events experienced by a narrator who seeks empowerment through voicing his or her experiences. And a testimonio must include intention of affirmation and empowerment. And so it is in these 4 bodies of knowledge that we base our COP project on. And to talk more about our COP project is my colleague, Jennifer.
Great. Thanks, Bernadette. To continue on with this idea of community practice, we would like to share how this COP came to life. Our group consisted of K-12 supervisors across various disciplines. We shared a common goal to transform our approach to coaching teacher candidates in the TK-12 settings. We saw the need for a more impactful coaching that truly helps new teachers grow and become resilient, especially when faced with challenges and confronting their emotions. We came together because we had similar experiences and stories from the field that we felt were worth sharing. We faced the same struggles. We wanted to do better with meeting the needs of our teacher candidates overall. By sharing our stories and practical experiences, we realized how much collective wisdom we had. And we also benefited from the deeper collaboration. Next slide, please. Here you see a slide that kind of breaks down the components of the COP. Our COP was built on this framework of transformational coaching, which fostered a powerful structure of collaboration and professional growth. The 4 driving factors that moved our COP was knowledge sharing, problem solving, new knowledge creation, and lastly, the professional growth. So let's start with the first factor, knowledge sharing. So for our COP, we came together every month. Again, supervisors from different schools and districts. We shared coaching experiences, new insights, and resources with one another. This prevented no one from working in isolation. We pulled all of our wisdoms together. We also focused on problem solving. We openly discussed real-world coaching challenges that we were facing in the field. This COP would become our safe space for brainstorming ideas and critically thinking about solutions together. As part of the process, we started to create new knowledge together. Again, we used the book Arise, The Art of Transformational Coaching by Elena Aguilar as the foundation. This encouraged us to use and experiment with evidence-based coaching practices, especially around supporting teachers' emotional needs. In the end, we saw the most powerful outcome of the COP through our own professional growth. By participating in the COP, we all strengthened our coaching skills, we built confidence, and we became very close-knit network we were able to support one another going forward as well. Next slide, please. All right. As previously mentioned, we use various evidence-based coaching practices. But for this slide, we wanted to just highlight the chapters that we pulled into our COPs from Arise, The Art of Transformational Coaching. And we wanted to give you a glimpse into what topics of conversations consisted of. So, to start out, chapter 1 was all about those core principles and theories behind transformational coaching. We learned about 4 foundations, beliefs that drive effective coaching. These principles remind us why transformational coaching matters, especially in supporting new teachers in the classroom. Chapter 2 was answer the big question: what exactly makes coaching transformational? It gave us practical strategies to move beyond just technical fixes, helping teachers develop reflective and sustainable practices. Chapter 3 was all about coaching the 3 Bs. Here we explored the 3 Bs framework for fostering agencies in our new teachers. We looked at the power dynamics in coaching relationships and read the Isaac story, which brought these concepts to life. Now, chapter 4 was the transformational of listening. We practiced being fully present and listening to our teacher candidates, not just to words, but to what was left unsaid, paying close attention to nonverbal cues. And through this, we began to support teachers more meaningfully. And then lastly, chapter 5, this section was about active listening and becoming better communicators. We learned to talk less, listen more, and use a balance of facilitation and directive coaching. And from that, we had a bigger impact. Overall, through this book and by sharing, we learned our community is stronger and rests on a more supportive foundation for coaching future teachers. I see here, this was just a glimpse, an example of what a typical meeting flow looked like for us. Something that if you were interested in starting your own COP, it's something you could use as a jumping off point. We always started out with some type of topic or a discussion. We had a PD to start out with to help our our supervisors to know what was going to be expected for them. I'm just kind of looking at the flow of this slide deck here. Yeah. I'll leave that, but it's something you can refer back to, and we can speak more about it. Just for the interest of time, I'll move on to the next slide.
So before I share my experience, thank you, Jennifer. I'm just going to stop sharing so I can make sure that Hassam has access to the breakout room slides. So I'm going to stop sharing and just provide a moment for folks to think about, like, what in spaces that y'all have been in this work have you felt like you belong? I just want you to think about that for a moment before we share again. Before I pull out here, just want to make sure that my other deck is here. Let's see. Thank you, Bernadette. Do you have access to the slides that are separate, Bernadette? Let me put them in the chat for you. Oh, you're here. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna start sharing back again, folks, and let me make sure that this is accessible. And there's some audio on this one, just so you're aware. I did some recording. Let's see. All right, let's see. I'm just gonna go back to the main screen, and then Bernadette, when we go to breakout, you can pop that in the chat and then they can access it, yeah? For editing purposes? Okay, cool. All right, folks, just had to make sure our tech is on point here. So I was not I did not originate the COP. I joined in January. Actually, I think we began in February of 2025, and I'm looking at two screens right now, so excuse me if I turn my head. So the origin story of what Jennifer was sharing is essentially like, I felt as a supervisor, I'm going into my 6th year, that I was finding myself, like I was struggling with finding a community to consider all of the emotions and beliefs and values that candidates were sharing with me. I needed a place to process and really consider really more about my own beliefs about education and collaboration, and humanize the experience of coaching, which is what this particular space did for me. I feel incredibly grateful for the opportunity to learn more about not only Elena Aguilar's framework, because that was somewhat familiar to me, but as Bernadette shared, like our holistic approach in thinking about this workshop was to pull in other ideas and theories to connect the work together for ourselves. And I really appreciated those spaces to share in community. And so this is just a quote that I had written down for myself, considering the opportunity to reflect on my own coaching experiences and stances in community with folks who shared values and beliefs, often at intersections of our own respective identities. It felt magical for me. Joining our COP made space for me to practice active listening and patience, and provided those opportunities for me to share both expertise and vulnerability in those moments where I just was not particularly sure what to do. And I felt often in higher ed, I really missed the hallway talk component of teaching in K-12, primarily, in secondary education. I really felt a sense of community with my colleagues and the concept of belonging, which Bell Hooks notes in the culture of place and in many of her works, right? And All About Love as well. One of the quotes that spoke to me is that as we dedicate ourselves to one another, and thus experience daily and directly the diverse array of gifts that contribute to our living, gratitude will take its rightful place as the fundamental disposition that guides our forms our ways. So the gratitude I felt with my colleagues was a wonderful spot to be in.
And that quote is from?
Oh, it's from A Culture of Place.
Okay.
It is on, so all of our resources are actually in our shared drive as well. Like we have our bibliography and we have a slide for them. So yes, you're welcome. And we will also be here to chat at lunch if y'all want to come back and hang out in the main. I'm going to skip, this is my sort of testimonial. It's about 3 minutes. I was thinking I could skip this and we can move into breakout, but I'm happy to play it if my audio works. It's pretty brief, so I will see if I can do that. It might be a little strange. Let's try. If I can share audio.
To continue my story,
Oops.
I want to share
Can you hear?
that when I joined the COP in the spring of 2025, I was feeling a bit lost, a bit frustrated with my community. I felt like I needed to work on and share more connections with my colleagues, and it wasn't particularly transparent, especially in the secondary space at my school, my particular site, where I felt I could have collegial discussions about what I felt was coming up with candidates in my placement. For example, one of the main pieces, the takeaway that I had in collaboration with colleagues at the COP was considerations about positional power and some of the differences being between a transformative lens of coaching and a more directed lens of coaching or prescriptive lens of coaching. And when I considered my specific energy, driving that toward relational power and expertise, that's one of the places I felt I could begin with, and also another place where I could grow, right? I think that there were some times when I felt, especially in and with the particular lens, through the particular lens of supervision, I felt like I wasn't always certain which direction to go with my coaching, whether I knew a candidate or not. But what I felt very certain of and still do is that my candidates really do see a heavy power differential, between me and them and their mentor. And my goal, one of my goals for this past spring, was to break that down and unpack it. And
All right, I'm going to pause my clip there, but it's there. So that idea of positional power and unpacking and reaching through it brings us to this space where we're going to work on breakout room discussion. So for the next 15 minutes or so, we have a sort of a two-part session, two-part reflection for you all to engage with and sit with. And again, this is based on the frameworks that I think we have shared, and also the idea that we have positional power in these spaces. But this question really speaks to one of the reasons I joined. I want you all to take a moment to reflect on a case with a mentee or a teacher candidate. So consider, just think about a case or a space where something worked or went well. Something went well. You can think about why, you can think about what worked or what went well. And then think about or consider some challenges that you experienced in that moment. And we've created a second slide deck, which is linked here, but I'm also we'll put it into the chat box for you to join the Zoom room based on, or for you to work on the grid based on your Zoom room number. So what that looks like is, this is an example. So you're going to work first on the blue and gold pieces, blue and yellow pieces, on a memory or situation you felt good about and what happened and why, and then a memory of this is a coaching situation that you felt challenged and what happened, and consider perhaps why. And so when we're in this space, we're going to ask you to share the air. You'll probably take about 2 minutes each. Feel free to take notes here, assign a note taker. Really what we hope for is the conversation to be helpful and potentially transformative versus a transactional approach as we move into the green space in the second sharing spot. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we're going to pop up the editable slides, and I'm going to open breakout rooms all at the same time. Bump, ba bump, bump. Okay, breakout slides are here in the chat. I'm going to open rooms. Does anyone have questions? All right, I've got some folks who are opening. So here we go. We're going into breakout rooms. Feel free to join. They are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we will guide y'all as we slide around and let us know if we are a pest or a help. We'll see you in about 8 minutes. So Jennifer and I are going to do just a quick debrief, and then we're going to go back into our breakout rooms to consider and what happened in that first round. But if anyone, I think we have about a minute for someone to share out like what emerged from your conversations.
Yeah. We had a great conversation in our breakout one. I would love to bring forward our voices from the breakout one. Edwina or anyone from our breakout room one would love to come off mute and share what we were thinking and discussing.
Okay, I'm going to briefly say a little bit and hopefully someone can chime in. But I wanted to say one of the things we mentioned real quick was one commonality that teacher supervisors sometimes have candidates that have some type of dissension or issue or something going on between them and the mentor, the student teacher with the mentor teacher. So, and one thing is that the mentor teachers, they're coming from they're unique too, like someone said in the other session, that all the student and interns, practitioners are unique too. They have different commitment, they have different experience, they have different understanding of what the role of the mentor teacher or how to work with the teacher candidate. And we didn't get to the green section, but that was pretty much the gist or the focus of the conversation.
Thank you for sharing, Edwina.
Thank you. I think Edwina, you're pulling us into our final reflection breakout, and my hope is that we can take about 5 minutes, and then we might go until about 12:02, so that y'all have we can close out before lunch. But if we can take about 5 minutes with one another in these spaces to consider this action, I think our team would consider it more of like a call to action, right? What commitments can you make to this work of supervision? And what are some questions that you have in order to consider, building on today's discussion and growing in your own transformational or less than transactional coaching experiences, right? Recognizing candidates as whole people. And so we're going to put you back into these breakouts for this particular prompt. And this is really a brainstorm and a space for you all to connect and pair up, team up for this next step that we find so critical. So I'm going to open breakout rooms again. Any questions before I reopen these?
Do we need to put the questions in the chat?
Oh, please, if you can, just do that. I can't see the whole chat, but we can pop that in. The discussion questions. And then Bernadette, thank you. I will post those as like a broadcast.
Okay.
Prompts. So feel free to rejoin, thinking about your commitments to the next stage of your supervision or work journey. I know not all of us are supervising right now. I was hearing some really wonderful conversations as we roll into lunch. What about y'all, team? Did you hear some good? I heard a lot of really interesting things if anybody wants to share out as we are about to wrap up here. Here, I have my other window open. Sorry, fam, I was like not prepared to, I wasn't thinking I was going to share out my deck.
No worries, no
And
worries.
I was like, I love these pivot. That's like,
I'll buy you some time, sister.
that's time.
We in the breakout room I was in, there was a lot of conversation about the importance of engaging in dialogic communities such as this, the need, and kind of that's kind of that was the sense of what I took away from our group.
Yeah, yeah. So what we actually kind of experience right here, right now, is a very small taste of what a community of practice could look like and sound like. The idea of coming together, bringing stories from the field, sharing our experiences, sharing our wisdom. That's what a community practice is all about. So yeah, I'm glad we all had an opportunity to go through that process real time.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's dog. All right. Well, it's almost close to lunch, so we're going to keep this moving along. So, like I said, you just had a snippet of what a community practice could look like and sound like. It also could be as simply as watching a coaching session. Elena Aguilera has a wonderful podcast, Bright Morning. If you sign up, you can get them dropped in your email weekly. It allows you to continue to explore her work around transformational coaching. Oftentimes, she brings knowledge, insight of how to have those structured debriefs, feedback, and provides supervisors with protocol. You can have a book study, just like we did around Arise Transformational Coaching. Within that book and in a book study, you can practice actual coaching. You can use coaching stems. Those sessions can be hybrid. Maybe some of your folks like to do virtual meetings. Maybe you like to show up in person. You can have that opportunity to do both, one or the other. Any other suggestions? Would love to hear from any and all of you of if you've had any community of practice experiences on your campuses or something that comes to mind that you wish to see happen in the upcoming year on your campus. And again, it's around that support with supervisors and teacher candidates, of course. Like part of your wish list, thinking about our work in the upcoming school year. Okay, I could wait a little pause, but I'll continue on.
I love a good pause. I
okay.
did, Jennifer, I heard some folks saying that they were
Yeah.
thinking about strategies in like
Mm.
where to find, especially with work with mentors on shifting lenses from like the spaces that they inhabit and opening that up more to teacher candidates, and really creating a sense of belonging at the school site. And I think that's a really important point as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to, before moving on to the next slide, I want to put it out there for Gregory, if you prefer. His question to the group is, the biggest challenge to mentoring and coaching is the requirement for candidates to complete and pass Ed TPA or Cal TPA, right, in the second semester. And what do you all do with this elephant in the room?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
At Notre Dame de Namur University, I offer I have a class which is half a unit, and it's to support students doing the Ed Specialist Cal TPA, and then the students who are in the a similar class for single subject and multiple subject. I also offer them support as needed, and because I'm willing to do more than the teachers of those are willing to do, and it's a real challenge for them to have to do all of this, to have to, most are interns and they have families, and then they have to do this. And at their schools, they aren't really given any support. So I don't think you can give them enough support. So that's how we do it there. Do you do something similar at San Jose State, or do you not know?
We actually have a coordinator, and candidates have an online sort of guided course.
So it's a support class like I do.
Yeah, a support class.
And I think you just can't give them, I mean, you just have to give them as much support as you can. And a lot of it is emotional support.
100%.
I love that you ended your commentary on the idea of that emotional support and building the resilience in our student teachers. And even when they enter the profession, we're always going to be challenged with time, not enough time, and many things to do within that time, right?
Yeah.
Let me move forward and maybe share a final quote with all of you. And what I hope all of my other co-supervisors agree, part of my cohort, that the purpose of our COP is that we knew we had to start with us first as supervisors in order to make change. So we end with this quote: when adults thrive, meaning all of us and our teacher candidates, schools transform into joyful, resilient, and equitable places of learning. So if you take anything from our presentation today, just take that quote, understand what you do makes a difference, and first and foremost, we must start with the adults in the room. And the quote is lifted from Elena Aguilar, Arise, the Art of Transformational Coaching. Yes. Next slide, please. Bernadette, take us into our saying of our goodbyes.
This has been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. We have like a little exit ticket, but we're gonna wait and see if you have one from STENT. But we can also provide that as a link too. It's in our materials too. But we would just all want to thank you all.
And we hope that you will join us. You can see there, our email addresses and so on. We are so looking forward to talking with you some more.
It's mutual.
Yay.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your lunch.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Yes, good to see you too, Paula. Thanks for coming. Thank you all. For sure. Awesome times. I'm gonna stop sharing screen. All
Are
of
we
these
gonna
are
have an
available.
exit ticket? An exit ticket?
I put it in the chat, but I was a little late on it, but I will I can pop it in now. I put the responder link there, but I'll do that for you again here. Here's a responder link. Feel free to reach out. Also, we have our emails there. Sorry that link is so long. I don't know why. It's summer. My summer brain is hitting with the technology thing here. But yes, you are welcome to jump in and reply here. Also, I know that Lisa always has a really extensive list of folk who want to collaborate and so forth at that extent. So we'll connect if you all want to, for sure. Thank you so much for coming. We have Hassam, do you have that link still? Let me go find it and I'll re-put it in there. We have the lunch link and we had it in here earlier.
I can find it.
You got lunch link, fam. You think at least a couple of us are gonna, oh, here. Yeah, that's a DM. Here we go. Awesome. Thank you, Hassam. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.
I'm sure at least a few of us will be there for lunch, yeah.